Have you ever held a phone in your hand, staring at a screen that feels more like a void than a window? You're looking at a message you just received. It's warm. It's flirty, it says. I had an amazing time with you last night. And just 3 days ago, that same person left you unread for 48 hours after you asked a simple, straightforward question. Your stomach does this little flip, but it's not the good kind. It's a lurch, a sinking feeling. Because right next to that warm message in your mind is the ghost of their silence, the chill of their distance, and you're left standing in this emotional crossfire, feeling completely disoriented. You ask yourself the question that has become a constant, humming background noise in your life. What do they want from me? If you've ever been there, if you've ever felt that specific gut-wrenching confusion of receiving mixed signals, then this is for you. Today, we're not just talking about the frustration. We're diving deep into the psychology behind it. We're going to explore the tangled, often unconscious, reasons why people do this. And most importantly, we're going to talk about what it does to you too, your mind, your heart, your very sense of reality. So, get comfortable. Maybe you're driving, maybe you're cleaning, maybe you're just lying in bed trying to make sense of it all. Wherever you are, let's untangle this knot, together. First, let's name the beast. Mixed signals aren't just a simple misunderstanding. They aren't about someone having a bad day. A bad day is consistent. You know they're in a funk. Mixed signals are a persistent, contradictory pattern of communication. It's hot and cold, push and pull, intimate confession one day, professional detachment the next. It's the person who says, "I'm not looking for anything serious," while acting like a committed partner when you're together. It's the words that say, "Stay," while the actions whisper, "Go." And the reason it hurts so much, the reason it feels so crazy making, is that it triggers one of the most fundamental human needs. Our need for consistency. Our brains are prediction machines. We crave a coherent narrative. We need to know that it leads to be when someone is warm and engaged. Our brain files that under "they like me." This feels safe, predictable. But when that warmth is followed by a sudden, unexplained coldness, our prediction machine it's a cognitive glitch. It's like the universe suddenly decided that gravity might work today, but maybe not tomorrow. The ground beneath you is no longer solid. And that is a terrifying feeling. Your mind, in its desperate attempt to restore order, does the only thing it can. It starts to obsess. It goes into detective mode. You replay every conversation, analyze every text message, scrutinize every tone of voice. Was it something I said? Was it something I did? Maybe they're just busy. Maybe they're scared. Maybe if I just give them more space. Or maybe if I show them I care more. Sound familiar? This isn't you being needy or crazy. This is a natural, neurological response to inconsistency. You are literally trying to solve a puzzle where the pieces keep changing shape. And the cruel irony is, the more you try to solve it, the more trapped you become. So, who does this, and why? Let's step into the minds of those who send these confusing signals. The first, and perhaps most common, psychological driver is internal conflict. Imagine a person standing at a crossroads inside their own heart. One sign points to intimacy. It promises connection, vulnerability, love. The other sign points to fear. It promises safety, independence, the avoidance of pain. The person who sends mixed signals is often stuck right in the middle of that crossroads. Their push is their fear talking. Their pull is their desire for connection. Where does this fear come from? Often, it's a history of attachment wounds. Perhaps they had a caregiver who was inconsistent, loving one moment, distant or critical the next. As children, we learn that love is not a steady, reliable force, but a fluctuating one that we must work to earn. They carry this blueprint into their adult relationships. They are drawn to the warmth of connection, but the moment it feels too real, too close, the ancient alarm bells of abandonment or engulfment start ringing. So, they pull away. They create distance. It's a preemptive strike to protect themselves from a pain they are certain is coming. But then, alone in that distance, they feel the ache of isolation. The desire for connection flares up again, so they come back with warmth and affection. The pull and the cycle begins anew. It's crucial to understand. This cycle is not about you. It is an internal war they are fighting, and you have simply become the battlefield. The second psychological factor is low self-worth and the ego boost. Now, this is a harder one to hear, so I want you to listen with compassion for yourself. For some people, The act of being desired is a drug. It validates their sense of self. They feel powerful, attractive, and worthwhile when they know someone cares for them. The hot signals to flirting, the deep conversations, the future ficking are how they hook you in. They bathe in the warmth of your admiration. But the cold signals, the distancing, that often comes from one of two places. Either they don't actually feel they are worthy of a consistent, real relationship, and your genuine affection starts to feel like a pressure they can't handle. Or, on a more manipulative level, they have learned that intermittent reinforcement, giving rewards at unpredictable intervals, is the most powerful way to keep someone hooked. Think of a slot machine. You don't play because you win every time. You play because you might win. The unpredictability is what's addictive. When someone is hot and cold, your brain enters a similar state. The win of their attention becomes a dopamine hit that you crave. The silence, the coldness, makes you desperate for the next hit. They may not be consciously thinking, "I'm going to manipulate this person." It's often an unconscious pattern they've developed to feel secure and in control without having to offer true, vulnerable intimacy. The third reason is simply uncertainty and a lack of self. Not every sender of mixed signals is a deeply wounded or manipulative individual. Sometimes they are just confused. They might genuinely like you, but they aren't sura ifyuri. The one, they might be carrying baggage from a past relationship they haven't processed. They might be struggling with their own life, direction, career, purpose, identity, and don't have the emotional capacity to show up clearly for someone else. The problem is, they lack the self-awareness or the courage to communicate this uncertainty. Instead of saying, "Hey, I really like you, but I'm feeling really confused and I need some time to figure myself out," they act it out. Their confusion becomes your confusion. Their internal chaos spills over into your life, leaving you to clean up the mess. So, we have internal conflict, low self-worth, and plain old uncertainty. 3 different psychological engines, but they all produce the same exhaust fumes: confusion, anxiety, and pain for the person on the receiving end. And what does that pain actually look like? Let's talk about you. Let's talk about what this is doing to your psyche. The impact of mixed signals is profound and deeply damaging. It's an emotional erosion that happens slowly over time. The first and most insidious effect is what psychologists call cognitive dissonance. This is the mental discomfort you feel when you hold 2 or more contradictory beliefs. In this case, this person is good and they care about me, versus this person's behavior is hurting me and making me feel invisible. Your mind cannot peaceably hold these 2 truths. So, to reduce the discomfort, it starts to distort reality. You begin to make excuses for them. You minimize the cold and magnify the hot. You tell yourself, "Oh, they're just busy. They're just scared. It's not that big a deal," while the part of you that is hurting gets quieter, pushed into a dark corner. You start betraying your own feelings to maintain the belief that they are a good person who cares for you. You are, quite literally, lying to yourself to survive the inconsistency. And in doing so, you lose touch with your most reliable compass, your own intuition. The second effect is anxious attachment. Even if you're the most secure person on the planet, prolonged exposure to inconsistent behavior can create anxiety in you. You become hypervigilant. You jump at every notification. Your mood becomes contingent on their mood. You feel a constant, low-grade hum of anxiety because you are perpetually waiting for the other shoe to drop. Your nervous system is in a state of constant alert. This isn't love. This is a trauma response. It's your body trying to prepare for the next perceived threat. And the third, and perhaps most heartbreaking effect, is the erosion of self. When someone you care for treats you as an option, as a convenience, as a mystery to be solved, the message you internalize is, "I am not worthy of clear, consistent love." You start to believe that the problem is you, that if you were just smarter, funnier, prettier, more understanding, then they would finally give you the consistency you crave. You are pouring your self-worth into a leaky bucket, and you wonder why you always feel empty. You stop trusting your own judgment. You feel foolish for hoping, for caring. The mixed signals become a mirror, and all you can see reflected back are your own perceived flaws. If you are feeling this right now, I need you to hear me. Please, listen. This is not your fault. The confusion you feel is not a sign of your weakness. It is a testament to your capacity for love and consistency. The anxiety you feel is not a character flaw. It is a logical response to an illogical situation. Your worth is not, and has never been, determined by someone's inability to see it clearly. So, what do you do? How do you step out of the crossfire and find solid ground again? The way out is not about changing them. It's not about finding the perfect combination of words that will finally make them see the light and commit. The way out is about reclaiming your own power, your own narrative, and your own peace. Step 1 is to stop the detective work. I know it's hard. It feels like, if you just think about it a little more, you'll crack the code, but you won't. You are trying to solve a problem that you did not create. Every minute you spend analyzing their behavior is a minute you are stealing from your own life, from your friends, your hobbies, your peace. When you feel the urge to scroll through old messages or dissect a comment, I want you to physically stop. Put the phone down, close the laptop, say out loud, I am choosing to stop investigating a mystery that is hurting me. Redirect that energy. Call a friend who makes you laugh. Go for a run. Watch a stupid movie. Reclaim that mental real estate. Step 2 is to trust the behavior, not the words. This is perhaps the most important rule. People can say anything. Words are cheap. You're so important to me is a sentence, but behavior is expensive. It costs time, energy, and intention. What are their actions telling you? Are they making consistent efforts to see you? Do they follow through on their promises? Do they make you feel secure? If their actions are saying I'm uncertain or I'm not fully available, then that is the truth. No amount of beautiful words can overwrite that. Let their behavior be your answer. And step 3, the bravest step of all, is to set a boundary and communicate your need. This isn't about giving an ultimatum. It's about stating a fact about yourself and your needs. It sounds like this. I've really enjoyed getting to know you, but I've been feeling confused by the inconsistency in our communication. I know you have a lot going on, but for me to feel comfortable and secure, I need a more consistent level of communication and clarity. Then you stop. You don't justify. You don't you have simply stated your need. Their response will tell you everything you need to know. A person who cares for you but is genuinely struggling will hear you. They might be surprised. They might need a moment. But they will acknowledge your feelings and try to meet your need. They will respect your boundary. A person who is unable or unwilling to offer consistency will deflect, get angry, make you feel needy for asking, or promise to change, but then quickly revert to the old pattern. Their response to your boundary is your final, definitive answer. It's the clarity you've been searching for, delivered not by their words, but by their reaction to yourself. Mixed signals are a language, but it's not a language of love. It is a language of fear, of conflict, of unresolved pain, and you do not have to stand there trying to decipher it. You are not a cryptologist for a broken heart. Your heart, your beautiful, capable heart that is wired for consistency and deep connection, deserves a partner who speaks a clearer language. The language of action, te lenguaje ofal bider. The language of showing up, day after day, not just when it's easy or convenient. Walking away from mixed signals is not a failure. It is the ultimate act of it is you saying, my peace is more important than your potential. My sanity is more valuable than solving your mystery. It is you choosing the solid, quiet ground of your own company over the dizzying roller coaster of someone else's indecision. It will hurt. Let it hurt. Grieve the potential, the fantasy of what could have been. But then, my God, welcome yourself home. Welcome back to the person who knows their worth. Welcome back to the calm. Welcome back to a reality where your feelings are valid, your intuition is your guide, and your heart is a sanctuary, not a war zone. The greatest psychology fact I can leave you with is this. You have the power to end the confusion, not by understanding them, but by choosing yourself. Thank you for listening.